Broadcasts of Hikino are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through Hikino.
Next on Hikino, stories from across our island chain.
That night, she started coming down the stairs and she lost all control of muscle function. She collapsed to the ground.
A teenage girl with a neurological disorder tries her best to fit in at school.
An ukulele virtuoso takes a leap of faith and opens his own music school.
Students at Wheeler Middle School tell us what to pack in case of a hurricane.
A place for students to hang out, study, and network, designed and run by students.
For another look at students creating their own venues, we'll revisit a past story from Maui Waina Intermediate School about a teenager who created a youth version of TED Talks.
And from Kahului High School, the story of teen volunteers at a no-kill animal shelter in Campbell Industrial Park. All on this episode of Hikino, coming to you from Ewa Makai Middle School on Oahu, home of the Tigers.
That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, Hikino.
Can do!
Welcome to Ewa Makai Middle School, home of the Tigers here in Ewa Beach, Oahu. Ewa Makai Middle School was built nearly 5 years ago back in 2011 with the intention of being a leader in green initiatives and focusing on technology. Throughout the years, our school has been growing and improving. We've won recognition for our National Green Ribbon Award and our Tech PE program. By expanding our school, we hope to share our vision to empower, explore, excel with the rest of the Ewa Beach community.
Our first story comes from Mid-Pacific Institute in Manoa Valley, where students introduce us to an ukulele phenomenon who has to choose between security and his dreams.
In order for you to succeed, you need to be a risk taker.
Mentored by Jake Shimabukuro and Roy Sakuma, Jody Kamisato has a gift which he uses to inspire others.
I think that's part of our mission, is to perpetuate the love of this instrument, the ukulele, and the aloha.
Jody is an ukulele teacher who enjoys what he does, but his career path wasn't always certain.
I kind of fell into music and teaching and performing, and there was a few hurdles in between. From 2002 to 2007, we were teaching as Ukulele Essence, so it was Bruce and I. And then in 2007, another company basically wanted to take over. It would have been really the easy way out for me to just continue doing what I love to do, but basically I would be an employee of this company. Or have the option of starting my own company and my own school. I really had a vision for my school, and ultimately I didn't want to compromise my vision and mission. And it was really hard, and it was stressful, and I was like, wow, I gotta make a living, but how am I gonna do this? I talked to a lot of friends, a lot of family, and they said, you have to do what you love to do and really find it in your heart. And don't listen to the people that say you're not gonna make it in music or you're not gonna be successful. And there was something inside me saying, you know what, just do it, Jody. You gotta do it, and if you don't try, you'll never know. So I decided to open my own school in 2007 called Ukulele Hale. Luckily, the students who I was teaching stuck along and supported me, and we went from 45 students over the years to now about 250 students, where we have 5 instructors, including myself.
He knows he made the right decision in his life, following his passion, taking a risk, and persevering.
I'm not making millions of dollars, but I'm excited to come to work,
This is Nicholas Sasagawa from Mid-Pacific for Hikino.
We're back at Ewa Makai Middle School. Our school was built from the ground up to be Gold LEED certified. Some neat features built into our school are our rainwater recycling parking lots, sun tubes, and UV windows that help keep our school energy efficient. Being green is built into every part of student life. We practice recycling regularly in all of our classrooms. Waste material from our lunches are used in our composting bins, which are then used to help grow fruits and vegetables. We take you now to Central Oahu, where students at Wheeler Middle School show us how to be prepared in case of a hurricane.
Although Hawaii is known for blue skies and trade winds, severe weather can happen. This year's active hurricane season, which begins in June of each year and runs through November, should motivate you to get prepared. The first things families and even kids should do is collect the supplies for a natural disaster kit, like right after this show finishes. Most people start with a checklist. The Hawaii Emergency Management Agency recommends preparing 7 days of food and water. Store 1 gallon of water along with healthy, non-perishable food. Don't forget the can opener. If you have to evacuate or don't have running water, you'll be glad you packed toiletries and hygiene supplies. In case you get hurt, a basic first aid kit with bandages, disinfectants, and ointments may be useful until you get help. Put your prescriptions on your checklist to be packed later. Make sure you have a change of clothes in your kit, including shoes. Flashlights, a radio, and blankets may also make your time away more comfortable. Pack some small bills so you can buy things if the ATMs and cash registers do not work. Teenagers won't be the only ones lost without their phones. You'll need to remember to pack a charger, or better yet, put a spare one in now, and have emergency numbers written down in case your phone loses its charge. Adults, listen up. There are some things kids can't do. You should know where your important documents are. You may need information to file damage claims, make payments, or fill prescriptions after the panic is over. Store these things in a portable, waterproof container that will be easy to grab and go. Once your disaster kit is ready, make sure you check it every year. You don't want to find out that your food has gone bad and your batteries don't work when you need it. Once everything is packed, talk to your family and agree on meeting places and contact points in case you are separated. We may not be able to stop a natural disaster from happening, but being prepared will help ensure your family's survival in a potentially life-threatening event. This is Alyssa Giese from Wheeler Middle School for Hikino.
Hikino is now on Instagram. For show updates and a peek behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram at HikinoCanDo.
We're back here at Ewa Makai Middle School inside of our STEM robotics class. In this program, students learn how to engineer their own robots using their imagination and engineering skills. The students are given a goal to achieve and then provided free rein over the design and function of their robot. After they have achieved their goal, they are entered into various contests like the Sea Perch Underwater Obstacle Course, Mate ROV Water Robot, and the VEX IQ Obstacle Competition. No matter the outcome of the competitions, our robotics team always proudly represents what it means to be an Ewa Makai Tiger.
We travel now to East Honolulu, where students from Kahului High School tell us about a special place created for and by teens.
In 2014, 3 high school students saw a need in the community. That's when the Canvas was created. Located in Kalihi near Dillingham Boulevard, this learning-conducive environment was made where students could come to after school to do homework and collaborate with their peers. Isabel Wong is the youngest of the 3 co-founders and current president of the Canvas. She is a junior in high school and is passionate about bringing students together.
One of the main goals of the Canvas is to build this student community, and so one of the things I want or I'm passionate about is seeing students, regardless of their high school, regardless of where they come from, where they are in their life, they're all able to come together, collaborate, work together, and be able to empathize with each other and hold discussions and really understand each other, not just as other people, but really as friends in one collective community.
The Canvas is run by a team of 8 student directors, including myself. We are basically in charge of doing everything, including events, day-to-day activities, and even budgeting.
The canvas was not only thought of by students, but also customized by teens from different high schools such as Farrington, Kalani, and Punahou, who all came together to make the space uniquely theirs.
This space started out kind of bare, white walls, carpet flooring, and when we talked to students, they were like, I wouldn't really want to go there to do work. So one of the things we realized was we really needed to give the space a makeover. So we had this wood wall behind us was created by a high school student from Moanalua. We painted all the walls, we ripped out the carpet, and we painted the floor. We painted the whiteboard walls and the chalkboard walls, and basically everything in this space that we wanted to have in our space was created by students.
The Canvas is a federally recognized nonprofit organization. Corporate and nonprofit sponsors, fundraising, and parental support all contribute to running the Canvas.
One of the great things about the Canvas is it allows you to discover what it is you're passionate about, and so I'm still, here and working to find what that is, so when I am ready to go and try something new, I know what that is.
As for the Canvas, their future plans are to develop new programs and workshops that anyone can attend, and continue helping students have an engaging workspace where they can make new friends and discover their life goals. If you'd like to learn more about the Canvas, you can go to thecanvashi.org or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at thecanvashi. This is Anya Carroll from Kalani High School for Hikino.
Stay tuned after the show to find out what students who produced this story learned from their experience. Now, in keeping with the theme of students creating their own venues, we open the Hikino Vaults to bring you a past story from Maui Waina Intermediate School about a student who launched a youth version of the world's most famous public speaking brand.
Third grade. Davis,
Meet Jasmine Dwan, an 18-year-old Seabury Hall senior who looks to her roots to find the solutions to her community's problems.
Being raised by entrepreneurs, my parents have really motivated me to start projects about causes that I care about, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I've started the TEDx and the Math Circle.
The Maui Math Circle is a student-run community service organization that was formed by Jasmine to help Maui youth develop a passion for math.
She's doing a great job. She's energizing kids and making math more accessible and making it more fun. And I think what she's doing is having a ripple effect across the community, and I love what she's doing.
I wanted to help youth and opportunities for students to learn advanced math in the classroom. I wanted to help bridge that gap. I gather about 20 to 30 student volunteers, high school math competition to come to Pu'ukakui Elementary School, where we teach about 100 students, but we really want them to leave our sessions knowing that math is fun and that they can enjoy it.
Running the Maui Math Circle would be enough for most students, but Jasmine is above the mean and still manages to divide her time between it and starting the TEDx Youth Conference on Maui. TEDx Youth is an offshoot of TED conferences, which are held worldwide for the sole purpose of spreading innovative ideas.
I created an event where middle and high school students from Maui can share their ideas, basically their passions, their stories, with the greater community. And I felt that there was a lack of an outlet on Maui. We want to encourage youth to inspire more youth to share their ideas and to know that they hopefully inspire more students to share their stories and start following their own dreams.
Some say it takes a community to raise a student, but Jasmine has proven that sometimes it takes a student to raise a community.
I think my community service projects will encourage students to recognize that they can make change now and seek out help from the community, because the Maui community is really supportive and they all want to help you and help you accomplish your goals and your dreams.
Jasmine hopes to be part of the solution to the problem of disparity in education by going
to Stanford University, make education accessible for all students at all levels.
Just days after this interview, Jasmine was accepted into Stanford University, where she plans on developing educational software that will help her achieve her goal. This is Caden Hancock from Maui Waina Intermediate School for Hikino.
Our next story by students at Kahului High School in Central Oahu takes place at a no-kill animal shelter in Campbell Industrial Park.
The Oahu Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals spearheads the efforts to get strays off the streets, but they don't do it alone.
We get volunteers kind of from all ranges of the spectrum. It's always still very, very helpful because there's a lot of work. As you can see, it's a big place. It's still a lot of work keeping care of this many animals.
2 students, Audrey Salazar and Armani Young, have given their time to volunteer for the shelter.
It's extremely rewarding to go and help the staff and the volunteers that are already at the Oahu SPCA to help the animals. Just petting an animal for 5 minutes, it improves their entire day.
Volunteering there has impacted my life by giving me a different point of view on the animals, letting me see the animals that aren't with an owner. It makes me want to actually care for them more rather than just keep driving, keep walking.
If it needs doing, they do it. They'll clean poop and pee out of the cages. They mop, they sweep.
Josh Richardson is a longtime staff member for the SPCA.
Good girl. For these animals, this is their life, these cages. To have someone come up and love on you and talk to you, we couldn't do without it.
They even found a way to help the Oahu SPCA through their school.
We've recently done a supply drive where we collected goods, things that animal shelters will need from around Kahului High School, and people just donated, and then we gave it to the Oahu SPCA.
If you need some place to volunteer, even if it's for community service hours, you're helping a life here, so why not volunteer?
And 5 years ago, Audrey actually adopted a young kitten from the shelter.
This is Layla. She likes to eat. Got her little belly. I know.
Proving that companionship is the result of being kind to others. This is Megan Rhodes from Kahului High School for Hikino.
We're back here at Ewa Makai Middle School in Ewa Beach, Oahu. The after-school program, also known as Uplink, has given our students an opportunity to participate in a free curriculum that will help them develop their skills and capabilities. Some classes, like aquaponics, leadership, and math club, teach students lifelong skills, while other classes provide students a place to nurture their passions and interests. The after-school program is beneficial to ensuring Ewa Makai students are well-rounded and prepared for the future.
Our final story comes from Maui High School, where students introduce us to a young woman who won't let a rare neurological disorder keep her from leading the life she wants to live.
I just like sports. That's what I like to do. I'm not very academically good.
For 13-year-old Bristyl Dempsey, cheerleading is what makes her jump for joy.
It's fun. It's really hard. It's very hard though, especially because everyone in my cheer team has already done cheer before, and I haven't.
However, cheerleading is not the hardest thing she has to deal with.
It was 5th grade Christmas time. It was Christmas night. We had a wonderful Christmas with family. And then that night she started coming down the stairs and she lost all control of muscle function. She collapsed to the ground and she couldn't stand up.
After several doctor exams, Bristyl was diagnosed with Tourette Syndrome. Like 200,000 other sufferers in America, Bristyl is unable to control her recurring movements and sounds such as squeaking, scrunching her face, opening her mouth, and moving her neck side to side, especially when she gets nervous. According to her mother,
she'd be squeaking up a storm and ticking up a storm.
This made Bristyl an easy target for schoolmates who didn't understand that her behavior was caused by a neurological disorder. But it wasn't only her peers who didn't understand Bristyl. One of her teachers mistook Bristyl's Tourette symptoms for misbehaving in class. Her teacher
She would yell at me thinking I was on my cell phone. I'll tell her, no, it's my tic. And she was like, well, do it above. And I was like, but I'm going to whack the person next to me in the face, you know?
The misunderstandings continued.
Showing her handwriting papers and making fun of her papers to the class. And, you know, that's supposed to be where she feels safe with the teacher, you know?
Bristyl and her mom decided homeschooling was a better option.
I just really have to push for her and do what I can for her and get her the help, any help she needs, and be her biggest advocate.
After a year at home, Bristyl found that less stress meant less tics. Armed with calming techniques like meditation, she felt comfortable enough to return to public school this year. The freshman has entered Maui High with a new outlook and a new uniform.
I'm in cheer and I'm doing really good, and I'm not having, a lot of my tics went down and my stress, and stuff, it all went down, and I'm excited for school.
Back in a positive and supportive environment, Bristyl can focus on improving her academics.
For anyone who has a disorder, Tourette's, don't let it stop you, and just be happy with your life because you have it for a reason, and you know what, it's going to lead to something great.
This is Chanel Pugal from Maui High School for Hikino.
Well, we've come to the end of this episode of Hikino. Remember, all these stories were written, shot, and edited by students like us.
We hope you've enjoyed watching them as much as we've enjoyed sharing them with you.
Stay tuned after the credits to find out what some students learned while working on this show. More proof that Hawaii's young people Hikino.
Can do.
Stay tuned after the show to hear what students learned from their Hikino experience.
One of the major things that I learned about being on Hikino is really being able to persevere. Whatever obstacles you faced, whether it's with the script or your audio or whatever you're filming, even with the feedback, it's always important that you keep trying and keep trying to make the best video that you want. I was the co-writer and co-editor in Kalani High School's story about the canvas.
I was the co-writer and the co-editor on Kalani High School's story, The Canvas.
The Canvas is supposed to be a nonprofit organization that gives students a place to come to after school.
We came up with the idea because I'm on the Canvas's team. I think it's really difficult to do a story on something that you're deeply involved in because you see it from the perspective of a person that already knows the backstory and already knows the background information. And so you automatically kind of assume that other people also know that same amount of information that you do and work on the story from that kind of a perspective.
In the Hikino process of creating our video, The Canvas, when we first sent out our rough draft to Lurleen, our mentor, she gave us several comments to go back and fix it. When we first got feedback from Lurleen, it was actually considered Aaron's video. He was the one who was editing on it, but the more she gave us feedback, it kind of got frustrating because all of a sudden we were changing the entire focus of this video. But eventually, once I was able to take part and actually help with the editing, it got a lot easier and the comments were more positive, I guess. Working with Aaron was interesting.
It was very interesting, but at the same time, I feel like it was very beneficial because we have a very different viewpoints on how to make the video. We were able to just correct each other, even on like the small details of the video, and benefit off of each other's different ways that we approached the video.
They had arguments, they disagreed, but they came finally to a solution that they both could live with. And they're really close friends now. I'm so glad to see that.
One of the major things that I learned about being on Hikino is really being able to persevere. Whatever obstacles you face, it's always important that you keep trying and keep trying to make the best video that you want.
I was the reporter and editor for A Home for Lorenzo. He struggled with being homeless for a while, but he seemed like a just normal kid that you would never think had actually gone through that. Once you get your draft done and then you get feedback, it's usually kind of like, I really thought I had it this time. And especially when you have to do multiple times of the story. But in the end, it's going to make the story probably 10 times better than what you had.
The students eventually start to see that, that whole revision process, in the end, it's all worth it.
I learned to be more open to people and that it takes a lot of work to revise everything and a lot of teamwork. And you should never settle on just one thing. That's not good. You need to keep going to make it better.
Because when they finish, they have a final product that they're very proud of.
Broadcasts of Hikino are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through Hikino.